K-pop Demon Hunters, fun, stylish, loud. I loved it. What do you think?
Totally unexpected. Completely not. From the little snippet that you can see on Netflix of like the little trailer, I was like, I'm not going to probably watch this. But then when somebody told us about it, I was like, oh my God, it's actually really good.
Yeah.
I think there's a good story to it. The animation is kind of unique in some respects, but kind of also following trends that I think are happening at the moment.
Yes, it feels very in the style and the look, a bit like Spider-Verse films.
Yes.
Puss in Boots.
Yes.
Wild Robot.
Yeah.
But is it characters you think they're animated on like more like twos rather than ones? Because it has got that, not jerky, but it's not super smooth.
Yeah.
Yet the background stuff, Yeah.
I think that does seem to be part of the trend at the moment, doesn't it? That these things are done on twos to kind of give that bit more, as you say, sort of jerkiness to it, less smooth and less CG, if that makes any sense.
Yes, yeah.
I think people are bored. I think audiences are bored of what the CG style was. And I think kind of we got complacent about it. And I think studios might have got a bit complacent about it. And I think when something like Spider-Verse comes out that shows that actually CG can be a lot more than this, adding in almost 2D elements, taking it almost back to a bit more handcrafted element, not so smooth and slick and sort of just a smooth movement, then actually it becomes a unique thing again. And I think that's what films are trying to do now, because there's so much content out there and there's so much CG, good and bad CG out there, that I think it's studios trying to push for a way of standing out, really.
Because it really started, wasn't it, with like Toy Story? That was the first main CG animated film.
Definitely.
And if you look at the time, obviously it looked really good. Now it kind of looks basic, but then over the years, Pixar made all their stuff try and look as photorealistic as possible.
This is it.
Which they kind of still do. I mean, if you look at most Pixar things now, they're all very similar.
Definitely.
Look, it's their style.
That's it, yeah. Because there's a realism, there's obviously like a universe sense of realism, like in film. It's kind of grounded in their universe of that film, if that makes sense. They don't really sort of push they don't sort of push expressions too much or push body movements too much, if that makes sense. Nothing that's going to break the character models. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas something like K-pop Demon Hunters, some of the expressions and some of the movements are just like wild.
Yeah,
eyes bulging and like mouth movements and almost like emoji expressions that come on their faces. And it's kind of that mix of like 2D and 3D and mix of styles. And I think it adds to it and it just makes it stand out that little bit more.
Yeah, so I know the style of animation really suits of whatever the theme or whatever the feeling is of that particular scene. Obviously, there's it is basically a musical, so there's lots of musical numbers. So whether that's them on stage or just goes into some other world.
Absolutely.
The two main characters, the male and female characters, like at one point, they have like a duet.
Yeah.
And the style of that is very kind of slow and smooth.
Yeah.
And that's a very different style to when an early on scene where they're fighting some demons in a plane.
Yeah.
And it's all just all over the place. It's very Spider-Verse.
Definitely, yeah. And just like, there was just little, I think, especially in the earlier bits of the film, you notice those sort of big, pushed, exaggerated expressions more. And I think maybe as the sort of story got a bit more serious, they kind of toned that back a bit, which I think is intentional. But I do remember from the plane bit, when there's that demon character pouring coffee on that plant, and it's something so silly, but I spotted it. Like the plant goes from basically upright to like flat on the thing, like in like 1 frame, 2 frames, very similar to what they did in Emperor's New Groove, the Disney film.
Oh.
And it's just this classic shot of like just this plant that goes from that to that. There's no in betweens. It's just this quick, sharp comedy timing. And I think they've also added those elements into it, which we don't really tend to think of in CG as much, because they tend to want that smoothness and the reality and stuff like that. So I think what they've tried to do here is that mix of 2D timing, 2D, more cartoony essence, really, but in a 3D CG world. I think it worked great. It was very unexpected for me.
Going back to sticking on things that were funny. The funniest bit to me was where the tiger first appears. A bit like Cheshire Cat from it pops out the bush and just knocks over a pot. And just spends ages trying to get the pot back up. And Umishi ends up doing it for the tiger. Yeah. And he knocks it over again and she's like,
it's brilliant.
But then later on doing like when she's trying to hide the tiger in her bedroom for one of her friends come in. sees the bin knocked over and
Yeah,
gets Paul trying to lift it back up and just like,
so
no,
good.
Get by me. Yeah.
Yeah, it was those moments that are kind of like, they're not necessary to a story,
No,
but they're
yeah.
great. It's the same with the bird character with the little hat, and they just take a little moment to go, why is the bird wearing a hat? And he says,
yeah.
well, it was supposed to be for the tiger, but the bird wouldn't let him, and it just cuts to the bird, just giving this like cheeky sort of expression, and it was just a beautiful little moment. It just wasn't necessary, but it was there, and it was nice, and yeah. And all the character designs for those are beautiful. Same with the demons. The demons are really nicely designed. They feel really cool.
And the kind of stripes, there's this kind of bioluminescence.
Yeah.
Stuff comes up on the skin. That's really
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
But yeah, the way they'd done it kind of reminded me of there's another series on Netflix called Oni, Thunder God's Tale. Don't know if you've seen that.
No.
It's CG, but they've made it look like it's stop motion. It's a beautifully designed kind of series, similar kind of demon type characters in it, but very sort of pushing CG really, and what CG can look like. And the same with another one called Myra and the Three. Have you seen that one?
No.
Another Netflix one. That is CG, but again, they've really pushed and exaggerated the 2D cartoony ness of it and the exaggeration of it. They even have moments where it's like they'll have big fight scenes with like gods and Mexican gods and stuff like that. But they'll have characters like they'll have moments where things will punch out of the frame, and it kind of breaks. So it almost looks like it's coming out of the screen at you.
Oh wow.
And they use it sparingly, but it works when it does it. So it's all like, it just kind of gave me all those feelings of those kind of things. I think it was good. I think I really enjoyed it.
Something I read up earlier was
Yes.
Apparently songs have been released from Huntrix and Size Boys, and they've all kind of been in the top 10 of Spotify, like iTunes and US Billboard. So that's kind of meta in a way, isn't it? These fake bands of being better than real ones from a film.
Brilliant.
That's on streaming. It's interesting. It was made by Sony Animation Pictures, but it's Netflix have released it. So.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. So K-pop Demon Hunters on Netflix, highly recommended.
Highly recommended.